Hey guys, this is DFD, aka Dark Frozen Dust, back with another Kamihime Project event video. Now, the whole thing with this is that it's a repeat of an event, so the previous few events we have been having raid ones, so you actually was able to get help. This one you're completely on your own. Thunder's the enemy, so it's gonna be win with the advantage. But personally, if you use anybody but water, you should be fine. Unless you're like superly overpowered. I know some people that have some strong water teams. But thing with this too is the fact that Mastema isn't that good of an Adolan. It depends, so we're gonna end up looking into that. Also, some things that I had to mention as well. There's been a few comments on previous videos about sound quality with mics and all that type of stuff. Thing is, if I record this off my computer, the mic quality is lower, but the image is better. And if I record it off my phone, the mic quality is better, but the image is worse. So you get what I'm saying with that one. I still haven't really gotten around to getting anything to really replace this. I haven't even replaced my computer yet, so there's that. I'm still trying to look for a decently priced computer that's actually a gaming laptop that's not going to cost me like 4-digit prices, but I might be asking for too much. But other thing too is the fact that I've been playing March and Nocturne, so there's stuff about that. And then last thing I got mentioned is some little vote thing I actually had on the community tab about which weapon seems better, Shingen or Shingen's bow or Shingen's lance. I may do more stuff like that, but there's that if you want to vote on it. Speaking of voting, I'll talk about something else later that's going to come up. But first, the Advent event, because you're on your own, make sure you're still strong enough to clear at least expert so you can get everything a lot more reliably. You have a chance to get the the gold item that you need to trade for because it doesn't always show up. You have a slight chance to get that if you cleared, I think it's called normal or novice or something. I forgot the difficulty for that. But expert is the one you definitely want to be able to do. And if you can clear it, ultimate is the best grinding spot. So there you go. If you are final breaking stuff, you're going to need the cores, so you're going to need to do Ragnarok as well. So remember all that as well. Because also Ragnarok will indeed give you the Dragonic Eye Shard, so you need to pay very close attention to that. And if you are trying to final break Mastema's weapon, then yeah, you're going to need materials from this event too. But anyways, same typical stuff. Go after the SSR stuff, the lower rate SSR stuff, because there's a second weapon that's higher rate, and quite frankly, I'm not too sure if it's out all that good either. But definitely get the gacha tickets if you need them. There's some pretty good past raid Kamihime, and then if you are trying to get vigor for water, there's SR weapons that can do it in those gacha tickets. So the raid ones can indeed help you out depending on what you're aiming for. So keep that in mind. And then also half elixir as usual. You can get tons and tons of soul points, but me, I'm not going out of my way to get them because there's only like 2 souls I really use the points for on anyway, which was Arthur and Herc. If I'm going to use any more, it's going to be on Shingen, and I've already racked up a nice amount just on standby. I think I got like 9. But yeah, there's all of that, and then magic gems if you can get to it. If you absolutely need them, the grimoires aren't too bad to get either. Especially considering the fact that when we get tier 4 souls, you're going to need all the grimoire types, which also include a new one that gets introduced at that point. You may want these, especially if you're awakening Kamihime, because I've heard a few people have actually got to go grind out more gold books because they've awakened Kamihime. I need some too because I can't fully go through earlier awakening without them. So there's that. If you didn't get her scenes or whatever, Mastema is just free jewels. If you do intend on keeping her, her effects aren't that good. It really isn't. It's this very, very situational type of thing. And I'm pretty sure we're not in either situation if you're actually able to clear it ultimate. So there's that. And then you're going to have two weapons that you have to pay attention to: the bow and it's they call it a special sword on here. It's really a glaive, but that's going to determine your phantom weapon build. Well, no, your phantom weapon build determines the weapons you may need as well. So if you did get one of those, which I still haven't, then you're going to need to hunt down different types of weapons and whatnot to actually try and match it off. If you need to, go out your way to get some SR ones, because some phantom weapon effects are very good, and the SR weapons can sometimes come with two effects, so that's something to know about. And then they have drop rates for different type of stuff too on here. I never knew that before, but if you want to be honest, I don't think some of this applies to us because I don't remember getting some of this stuff. I don't know. It depends. But now we're going into some more serious stuff here. They do indeed have some enemy stats and whatnot, but nothing too out there and important. Keep in mind that Mastema can indeed hit you pretty freaking hard, so be prepared against that. And you may get paralysis on you as well. That's regardless of what difficulty you're fighting her in. So you have to be very, very careful. Well, no, standard and below doesn't have that, but expert and above does have the paralysis. So be very, very careful. Well, actually, it looked like it could have it. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm. But expert and standard really doesn't last that long anyway if you level yourself up. So, and then she's got almost 3 million HP for Ragnarok. Depending on how strong you are, this could be a lot. But hey, it's what's needed to be done in order to get final breaks and stuff. So if you're already on the process of getting final breaks, that means you're getting Ori Childcom. And this is not going to be a problem, so keep that in mind. Now, when you get around to actually fighting the boss, definitely, definitely, definitely bring attack down if you have no confidence in being able to withstand the damage. You will need it. She hits hard. And then to make matters even worse, her charge turns go down to 2 after dealing with from expert and above, her charge turns go down to 2, meaning in the raging phase, she will hit you every other turn. Be very, very careful. Not only that is the fact that the her random hits of 4 times has actually got a chance of activating during normal hits. So yeah, it's just so the fact that she can hit you pretty hard, pretty fast. Be very careful. You might want to be able to remove paralysis as well, but the biggest thing is lowering her attack power, because if you don't, you're taking full brunt of that. It's gonna hurt. You get you get enough attack down between the different frames of it. Considering that there's R Kamihime that have a C frame and a stackable frame, you might want to go after them. But considering that you can hit the 50% cap on that, then that means you're cutting the damage in half. So keep that in mind. And you can cut it even further with characters like Joan and all that. Quite frankly, this is a good fight to break out Gaia if you have her, especially if she's awakened. So there's all that. And then Ragnarok is just her with more HP, period, point blank. They even suggest Joan right here. They really do. And then Mordred is also able to sip in the lower attack power too, and increase the charge turn, so that's very, very helpful. It's ultimately up to you, but those are definitely the recommended souls, if not a healer. Like say Andromeda with Vivian's EX skill to remove paralysis if possible. But anyways, this is going to be the material list. You don't need too much in order to get all the copies of Mastema and all that. Now, the only reason I could see somebody going out their way to get Mastema is for the Adoan orbs. That, or we did just get Needhog, so you kind of do need sub-slot Adoans too. if you have her. So if you got Needhog, you're going to need Thunder character. I mean Thunder Idolins. So those are the only two ways I can really see somebody going out of their way for Mastema. Otherwise, she's not good. And then there's also grimoires and all the potions. Same standard stuff you've seen in these type of videos. Now here's why Mastema is not that good. She can indeed put Dizzy on at a chance when summoned. That's not the bad part. The bad part is looking at her stats and what she gives. What she gives is character attack, which is assault, and it's really not all that much. It's only up to 30%. There's some weapons that can flat out give you that instantly. Some phantom weapons. And then there's others that can give you pretty close to that. You are essentially getting roughly about 2 large assault weapons in just Mastema, and it's much better to just get elemental attack if that's the case. Or even use somebody that gives special attack if you have them. But that's the thing, it's like so minuscule on the increase that it's really bad. Now the ability damage can be useful, especially if you have Kamihime that can nuke pretty hard. I know Thor is pretty good for that too, with her ability to spike her ability damage for like 1 turn if you have awakened her. Some Kamihime do have some very strong ability damage. I think I think Battle Unleashed is another one, but it's not enough to make up for a Mastema. The only other thing I can see is that on the DMM side, some people have gotten so strong that they're actually hitting the soft caps on damage. That means that they're hitting a certain point where if you hit that mark of damage, any damage exceeding that point is reduced by 90%. So say you do 400,000 damage, the soft for a normal hit, the soft cap is actually 350,000. So the remaining 50,000 is you're losing about almost 45,000 of that. So that's the whole thing with that. It's soft caps can do a lot to your damage. So even if you do get a lot of multipliers and whatnot, soft cap can still screw you over. Ability damage tends to bypass that a little bit because ability damage has its own soft caps, and that's probably where you want to get stuff like Elaborate and all that. This will also help up the ability damage you do. And from what I've noticed, a soft cap doesn't really do too much with ability damage if you have high multipliers, but it still depends. Because I've noticed that at this point I'm able to hit like 800,000 with Herc's damage nuke, and I have no exceed or no elaborate or anything with that unless I put Herc's stackable skill on her, in which case it starts doing a 1.2 million. But depending on how strong you are, the soft cap may not affect you. So that's the only other reason I could see somebody actually using Mastema as a main if you hit the soft cap. But then again, there's still better add-ons for that one anyway, like the ones that increase burst streak or something. So looking at DML, the meta is changing again, but for us right now, it's probably still better just to get elemental attack. So there's that. Unless you've completely willed on the game to the point where you have a stupidly strong grid. There's somebody I know that's actually got such a broken fire grid, they hit 81,000 power. Like, that's insane. But speaking of weapons too, this weapon is actually going to end up getting a small assault when you final break it, which could make it a little bit serviceable, but it's still more defender oriented, so unless you need a staff for the phantom effect, I wouldn't really worry about it. And then the only time I can see you using a staff for a thunder grid is if you have Dion set. So it's probably not worth it to really go after this unless you're using this for enhancement fodder. That's my opinion. Now, this special store, it's pretty much a stinger. Well, it's really a glaive, but it's a stinger. So what stinger does is when it activates, it's a damage multiplier in its own frame. So say you got like 1.2 on the stinger and it activates, then you're dealing 20% more damage. And it does indeed affect your burst. That is confirmed. However, I don't know if it's on our side yet or not, because I do see it on the DMM videos. So Stinger will indeed affect your burst. So that said, it could have some use. It still depends. I would rather get Stinger with something else. So that said, this weapon may not be worth it either. This is probably an event to try and rack up some more materials unless you absolutely need to get this stuff. Because keep in mind, there's still the Phantom Glaive, which, if I remember correctly, it's not that bad. But the staff is more for the healers. So, and Thunder really doesn't have that many. So how many people are really going to build a staff build for Thunder? But other stuff, Arcane, if you can make some use out of it, maybe. But this one's Defender. But that's still a big maybe. Spear and gun builds for Phantom weapons are pretty good, so you may want these SR ones, especially the SR that gives assault because it's still 13%. But other than that, well, it's really a lance, not a spear. But other than that, I really wouldn't suggest too much on that. Like I said, this event seems more focused on getting some spare items instead of the Adon and the weapons because they're not all that great. It still depends on if you got Phantom weapons or not, for the most part. And if you got a Needhog, you're going to definitely need Mastema because you need to get Thunder add-ons on your sub slots to make the most of Needhog. But if you are going for materials and whatnot, or even just trying to clear stuff, here's your missions. This is the same normal stuff you have to clear with an R character. I mean, you have to clear with all R Kamihime on Ultimate. It will automatically clear the SR one as well. Clear with SR on Expert. Clear Expert Advent and Expert Ultimate and Ragnarok without an elixir. This says fire attribute for this. Now, this is one mistake I've made a few times before because I've noticed it. Sometimes on here it says a different element than what it is in game. Double check that. This says fire, but it could be something different. So pay very close attention. The other stuff is definitely correct, but this, I have seen that before. There's one time it said to go in with light and on here, but it ended up being some other element like wind or something. I forgot what. But yeah, sometimes it's not right on these pages, so be very careful of that. Just go into your missions and check the event tab and see which element you need for Ultimate. And I will most likely have a video up for it anyways, because no matter how much I built my grids, all my teams are still capable of smashing through Ultimate with our teams. And some people, and some of these grids are even more powerful enough to take on Ragnarok without any trouble at all. So, I mean, some could struggle, but like I said, I'm mainly focused on a few elements. So, there's that. I know my win team can definitely smash this Ragnarok, so I don't even really want to try to use them. Fire will definitely kill them, and so will Light. So I may actually go out of my way to use somebody else, like, say, Thunder. But who knows. But this is definitely an event where you're probably going to rack up these side items. So the weapons, only if you need them for specific builds. The Adon, I can only really suggest that you want the orbs or if you got Needhog. If you have Needhog, you absolutely need her. Believe me. Because I don't think there was too many Thunder event Adons that we've gotten so far. So you're going to need as many copies of Mastema as you can. It may actually be a wise choice to probably sip and not even break limit if you want to try and get the most out of Needhog. Because you could indeed put I do believe you can put like the same copy of the Adon in separate sub slots, so getting all 5 could indeed get you Needhog's maximum effect. I wouldn't recommend it, but it's a possibility if you seriously want that extra 20%. Or more if you happen to have more copies of Needhog. Well, it's still extra 20% regardless, I do believe. But anyways, that's all for this. This event's pretty much a I'd say it's a filler, if anything, because it really doesn't have too much we have to go back for. And then on top of that, it's honestly the Ragnarok fight was annoying the last 2 times, but I'm much stronger now, so there's that. but it's doesn't really stand out too much, and it's honestly not that great. So if you do skip this event, I can't blame you. Still try to get the free stuff because of course magic jewels for clearing stuff. You can get more magic jewels from the thing, which you might actually want to get for another reason, and you can get gotcha tickets. But the other reason I'm mentioning is the second vote for they have another voting event that we're going to have for voting for our favorite Kamihime. Now, if this does work the same way as last time, what's going to happen is the fact that you're going to be able to go spend AP, and it'll give us more voting tickets, and in turn, it'll give us some more stuff. Because you get free stuff from a reward list by doing this. You do want to vote for characters that you don't have, but intend on getting. But I already know that people are probably going to vote the crap out of Soul because she's like the single most favorite Kamihime on both sides. So there's that. I mean, if you do want to vote for your favorite or your waifu or whoever, by all means. But quite frankly, who you vote for can indeed determine who's on that gotcha list that comes up pretty soon because there's going to be a popularity gotcha as well. So that said, they I do believe they give us some free pools towards it, but not many. It's mainly going to be aimed towards the people that can pay for it as well, so keep that in mind. But even then, I do believe your magic jewels can work on it. So that said, you may want to rack up magic jewels as well, just in case. And then if they let us vote for Idolans, you know who I'm voting for. But the 100% ones will absolutely sip and get in there. All 9 of them will probably get those votes. I say 9 because Diablos does count. And then if you're voting for they did this before, but if you're voting for a character that you get in the storyline, like say Nikke, since you automatically get her, they're going to replace her with her Unleashed version. So keep that in mind. That's what happened last time, and that's how Amon Unleashed got in there, which I can't complain about. She's very good. But that said, pay attention to who you're voting for. Grind out your AP like normal. If you're doing this event, you'll probably rack it up anyways. Which I do recommend at least for this free stuff right here, because like I said, you may need grimoires, especially these gold ones. Half elixirs, cool. Gotcha tickets, always free pools. And then definitely definitely the magic gems. If you're going for mastery points, maybe this one too. I might actually go out my way to get them this time because I really have nothing else to spend them on. But if you're grinding this event, then yeah, you'll probably get the AP for that. But keep in mind, I don't know for sure what they're going to do for the voting thing. It could be different. But that's how they did it last time. We spent AP, we got votes in place of it. So there's that. But anyways, that's all for this. More of this is going to come soon. If it's up to you guys, I probably would end up doing some more videos on March and Nocturne, but I can never do it from my laptop because there's 2 sides on a banner. I'd have to like completely cut off the video in order to have it censored. Even when I use a Nutaku desktop client, which isn't too bad, but it's still got its issues. But you may even see me record off that too, because I've noticed that Kamihime does run better off of that, at least the browser version. But that's just me though. But anyways, that's all for now, guys. More of this is going to come soon, and take care.